Good morning, Miss Lewis.
Good morning, Judge.
Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I cannot complain. Thank you.
I see that they had send you some plea paperwork in advance. Um, I don't want to send over twice, so I don't know if you check your email. I can send it over again to your other email, but just let me know because I think they CC you on the plea paperwork, which I wish they stopped doing that because it's like double work. Because I
Oh,
don't.
if you could send it on over to me, I'd appreciate it. I don't have it. I don't think.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we'll get started, I guess, when courtroom two gets on.
Yes, sir.
Good morning again, Ms. Lewis. Check your chat, please.
I just saw it. I'm getting ready to do it now.
Good morning, courtroom two. Hope everyone's doing well today.
All right, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Dad. Good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you. We'll go to the vote. Thank you.
I don't know, I need to write it.
Right.
Okay.
We can keep it. I don't use that one.
Okay. Neil. Misdemeanor. No, it's misdemeanor. He's a misdemeanor.
Oh, shit. More.
Possible is Ryan Luigi, position 35 and 36. The
Well,
paper
that's-
that was come forward. I told them I would.
Oh, sorry, no.
So weird.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hey, how are you?
This is position 35 and 36.
Good morning, Judge.
Yes, good morning. This is Mr. Newby.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, I did.
Very good. Good morning, Ms. Vigiletti. Have down that this is going to be a not guilty plea and a bond modification request.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, did Mr. Newby miss a court date?
He did. He missed court for DUI.
And whose court was that in?
Judge Dixon.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. My normal practice, as you know, Ms. Vigiletti, is that if another division judge has issued a bond on a case, then I return it to the judge who issued the bond for modification. Is there any reason that I should not do so in this case?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Newby had been working with Donnie Pulliam, who's a public defender in Judge Dixon's courtroom, to get a new court date. That new court date was April 11th. Mr. Pulliam did not realize that Mr. Newby was actually picked up on April 5th. And Mr. Pulliam had worked out with the prosecutor to set aside the bench warrant at that time, at that new court date. And
And
so
your-
it's an unfortunate timing issue that he had already been incarcerated. Mr. Pulliam sent him an email, hey, I got you a new court date, but Mr. Newby was already incarcerated at that time.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Falk. Is that your
Good morning,
understanding?
Your Honor. It is not. This is actually the first time I'm hearing that. So
And
I would like an opportunity to verify that information with our prosecuting attorney rather than hear it for the first time over this Zoom. So if Your Honor could just give me a little bit of time to actually see if that is an accurate recollection from our attorney's perspective.
Thank
Okay,
you, Ms.
that's-
Falk, and I'm sorry, I spoke with Mr. Pulliam late last evening, so thank you for taking a look.
Okay, so if it's confirmed that that's your agreement, Ms. Vigiletti, then I'm happy to sign whatever you all have consented to, okay?
Great, thank you.
All right, Mr. Newby, we'll be back with you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judge. And ma'am.
Your Honor, position number 2, Ms. Tanisha Brackens.
And let's see.
That's a plea, Your Honor.
Yes, good morning, Mr. McLean. Good morning, Ms. Brackens. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you
Yes,
swear?
sir.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor, if you'll just give me a moment. I was just sending this email, but let me get back on track. This is position 2, Tanisha Brackens, Your Honor.
Yes.
The state's recommendation on this criminal trespass is 12 months, served 24 days, credit for time served 12 days. That is from April 5th of 2024. Balance suspended. We are asking that she stay away from 4745 State Route 138 in Union City, which is the quick trip at that location. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of this plea.
For those purposes, we certainly do so stipulate, yes.
Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Brackens, it's my understanding that in case 24 CR 001796Y, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir, I'm not.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir, I do.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Ms. Brackens. Good luck to you.
Next, we can go to position 3 and 4.
These are also negotiated, please.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Carlton.
Good morning, Mr. Carlton. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Carlton. Ms. Falk?
On position 3, the state is requesting a negotiated plea of time served 18 days, credit for time served 9 days, which is from April 8th, 2024 to today. On position 4, we are agreeing to null pros that charge upon the entry of a plea on position 3. The state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea. That is all for the state.
For those purposes, we do so stipulate.
Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Carlton, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 001568J, you wish to plead guilty to willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury? You
Yes,
don't want
sir.
to, okay, you understand you have a right to a jury trial, and by pleading guilty, you're giving that right up. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Mr. Carlton.
Thank you, sir.
We can go to position number 11. Mr. Culpepper.
Your Honor, before we proceed on Mr. Culpepper, let's see, position number 11, I want to follow up with Ms. Falk. I had sent her an email yesterday because I'm not sure if it's going to be a negotiated plea or a non-negotiated plea, but I had requested that the state consider a time served sentence.
Yes, Mr. Haddad, I apologize. I did just respond to your email right around when court started. We are agreeable to your recommendation, your counter offer, and are ready to go forward with a negotiated plea.
All right, thank you, Ms. Falk. Sorry, I wasn't checking my, I forgot to check.
No. I realize you're in the jail, so the email was a little late in coming.
So, Your Honor, having said that, we're ready on a negotiated plea on Mr. Culpepper, position number 11.
Okay, very good. Good morning, Mr. Culpepper. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Culpepper. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation on this case is on the suspended revoked license, time served 18 days, credit for time served 9 days. That is going to be from April 8th, 2024 On the failure to maintain insurance, time served 18 days, credit for time served 9 days to run concurrent with count 1. We do understand that normally fines and fees would be associated with this, but given the date of the offense, which was in 2016, approximately 8 years ago, we feel that the service of 18 days is sufficient to close out this case. We would request that the defense stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea. Nothing further from the state.
We stipulate for purposes of the plea, Judge.
Okay, anything further, Ms. Haddad?
No, Judge.
Mr. Culpepper, it's my understanding that in case 18 CR 002492B, you wish to plead guilty to suspended or revoked license and failure to maintain insurance. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
I understand.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
And I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Culpepper. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, we do have a probation revocation calendar. Did you get a copy of it? Do I need to send it to you? It should have been now.
I did not receive it. Would you mind sending it to me, please?
Okay. Did you get the DV counter too?
I did get that one. But when I noticed that probation was on the line, it prompted me to know that I didn't have a calendar for that.
Okay, I'll send it to
For
you.
probation.
Thank
Thank you.
And also, we have a private attorney online, Anton Rowe. I don't know if you want to address his case.
Okay. Do we have Mr. Rowe's client in courtroom 2?
No, he's on the floor, so he'll be joining by jail court.
Okay. Mr. Rowe, we'll be with you as soon as we can. Your client is not in courtroom 2 at the present time, but as soon as we can raise him, we'll go with your matter. But good morning, sir.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Okay, Judge, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Who do we have next?
Position number 44, Anthony Washington. And this is Miss Vigiletti's client.
Yes, this is going to be a negotiated plea, Ms. Vigiletti.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Washington. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. On this case, the giving false name state's recommendation is 2 days credit for time served, February 5th to February 6th of 2024. I do have a note, and if Ms. Lewis could assist me with this, it appears that the defendant is not being held in jail on this case, but rather an FTA, and I can't determine the source of the FTA for any kind of bench warrant lift. So I'm not sure where it's coming from in the jail system, but when I looked at the documents in the jail system, I can't see a bench warrant. And so if we could get, if any assistance could be offered in helping me figure out if that's our bench warrant or another a Superior Court's bench warrant, that would be quite helpful. But the state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
Are we talking about position 44?
Pardon?
Yes.
Are we talking about position 44?
Yes.
Yeah, and I did find that bench warrant. I sent it to you yesterday, Ms.
Ah.
Fox. Day before is always wild, but there's a companion case. It's 19 SC 166305. So it is a felony. So there's nothing
Okay.
you need to do. And he
Okay.
does have the hearing scheduled. So I think we're all set. But thanks for noting.
I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Anything further, Ms. Vigiletti?
No, Judge.
Mr. Washington, it's my understanding that in case 24 CR 0006466C, you wish to plead guilty to giving false name, address, or birth date to law enforcement. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. 12 months. Yeah,
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
no,
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation? Is that a yes?
yes,
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
understood. Yes,
Has
sir.
anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No,
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Mr. Washington.
Thank you, Judge.
We can go to position 13 through 15. And this is Mr. Haddad's client.
Mr. Harrison. Your Honor, position number 13 through 15, and I believe I sent an email to everybody last night, Judge. So we're entering a plea of not guilty on 13 and 14, Judge. We're asking that position number 15 and Nalpros is to be entered. He was in custody, incarcerated at the time that he did not appear in court on February the 27th. I think I have it in my email, Judge. So I was just requesting that the FDA be dismissed. He'll obviously have to bond out on the newer charge here, but that's what my request, Judge.
Ms.
And I-
Falk?
Sorry, Your Honor, can we go back to the position?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I'm back on track.
Okay, we're 13, 14, and 15. Mr. Haddad is saying that his client was in custody at the time of when he was supposed to be in court.
I did see the email. I just need to check the dates so I was looking at that email. I just need to check the dates that he was actually FTA'd by the court. So if Your Honor could just give me a moment.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like on 20, was the FTA stemming from the 24 CR case or the
No.
22 CR case?
The 22 CR case. The 24 is a brand new arrest that he's technically in custody that he'll have to post bond for.
Understood. Okay, going back to the 22 CR case then. It looks like he did fail to appear on February 27th of 2024, which would be consistent with the information that Mr. Haddad provided that he was in custody in, I believe it was Paulding County at that time, the Paulding County Sheriff's Office. So we would be agreeable to lifting that bench warrant on that basis.
Thank you, Ms. Falk. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. P.D. Haddad, usually the defense just does in order to have the bench warrant lifted.
Sure, I'll prepare
Okay.
that. I'll email it to you for review and yeah, I'll forward it on
Okay.
to Judge and Ms. Lewis.
All right, thank you so much.
thank you, Judge.
Next, we will go to probation, the probation revocation calendar, position number 3 and 4. Mr. Halevic, Jeffrey.
Your Honor, may I take a moment while they're coming to the chair?
Yes.
Juan Carlton, who I just did a plea on a January 5th, 2023 obstruction single count time served, also has 22 CR 004929J. Before Your Honor, on August the 9th of 2022, he pled guilty to a simple battery, 1 count, and obstruction, 1 count. And probably FVIP was part of that simple battery plea. He has this probation hold on him. His family recently reached out to the probation department and made sure they were aware of this. This was before Your Honor, like I said, almost 2 years ago. At the time, he had an extradition to Illinois, then it got dropped. He got confused, he said, and then didn't complete the FVIP, didn't start it. So I don't know if at the end of the calendar today, there would be time for probation to look this up and think of a recommendation. It might be we would handle that on Thursday.
All right, so tell who are we speaking of, Mr. McLean?
Juan Carlton. It's case number 22CR004929J.
Okay, so Mr. Carlton just took a plea, and I'm sorry, what is your request? That he is,
That we be put on the calendar for Thursday to address that other matter. If it's inconvenient to get to it at the end of the calendar today, Thursday's fine.
okay. And it's a probation case?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor gave him his sentence on 9 August 22.
Okay, I'm not sure. Good morning, Officer Allen. Are you able to pull that up today, or would it be more convenient to do on Thursday?
I just pulled his case up, but if we can prepare the case for Thursday.
Okay, so we'll reset Mr. Carlton on the probation calendar for Thursday.
Thank you.
Okay, and tell me again who we have before us.
Position 3 and 4 on the probation revocation calendar.
Okay, yes,
Slavic.
yes. Good morning, Mr. Slavic. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the probation revocation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, Officer Allen.
Your Honor, the defendant was before the court on August the 16th, 2022. My apologies. Let me cut my camera on. Okay. The defendant was before the courts on August the 16th, 2022, where he was required to do a drug and alcohol evaluation, as well as victim impact panel, no alcohol or drugs, as well as the risk reduction and community service hours. Your Honor, the defendant has failed to report to our office. He failed to provide documentation of the 240 hours of community service. He failed to do the DUI school, the substance abuse evaluation, as well as the victim impact panel. Is 128 days remaining on his case. Your Honor, after reviewing the Fulton County booking, I noticed that the defendant has new charges. He's been in custody since April 9th, 2024. And at this time, probation is recommending for his balance to be revoked.
Vigilante?
Yes, Judge. So I did speak with Mr. Lavick yesterday, and it is my understanding, I don't want to get too deep into his new charges. I do just want to briefly address them. He is being charged with possession of a drug for which he tells me he does have a prescription. He is fighting that charge. His intention is to prove that he had a prescription and it was rightful for him to have that medication. Of course, he is here for a DUI today. He has not been driving. It's my understanding, and Ms. Allen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that he was reporting when he was first released. He was released directly to Atlanta Mission, where he spent 6 months. He did acknowledge to me that he stopped reporting. He did sort of get underwater after he left Atlanta Mission. He became homeless. He is back getting on his feet now. He is at Evolution Center, which is a program of Gateway. So he had been living on the street for a while and got himself into that program through Gateway. Really trying to get back on his feet. I hate to do this to all of us, but I am just kind of wondering about the math on the time left. I know he took a plea to 24 months of probation on August 16th, 2022. It looks to me like the warrant was issued, which would have told his probation on December 5th, 2023. So by my math, I do believe he might have 225 days left if we give him, if you also deduct the credit for the 20 days he spent in jail and the 7 days he spent this time. And if that is correct, 225 days is lots of time left to prove something, do something, you know, work on these probation requirements. So I am requesting that he be put back on probation today.
And Your Honor, it looks like, looking at the disposition, he was only for this particular charge. He has 2 cases in our system, they're consecutive. But for this particular charge, he was only sentenced to 12 months probation.
And Ms. Allen, he was sentenced to 12 months probation August 2022, and the warrant was issued December 2023.
Give me 1 second.
Thank you so much for.
And you have the date for the warrant being December the 1st, 2023?
I saw a warrant for December 5th, but I'm wondering if he said he has multiple cases, if I looked at the wrong warrant.
Yeah, it looks like his warrant was signed on December 1st, 2023. Yeah, now I'm calculating the time. Give me 1 second. And I'm still coming up with our system does it for us, it's coming up with 128 days.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I know math is not my favorite thing to do.
Well, let me just do it. What I'll do, let me do it actually with my hands with the calculator and not the system. So give me 1 second.
While she's doing that, Ms. Vigiletti, has he made bond on the felony charge?
Not yet. He does have a bond. It's a $5,000 surety bond. I did also want to bring it to the court's attention, and I don't know if this is something we can possibly solve. I see he has an APD hold, but the case number that I see associated, when I pull up the case number, I see it as associated with another person. And so I am wondering if, because it is APD, if maybe someone here has insight into what this other hold on him is.
And I'm actually coming up with 7 months and 25 days remaining on his case.
That's exactly what I saw, as long as it was a 24-month probation sentence.
And what is left for him? What did he not do? Again, for me, Officer Allen?
Your Honor, he failed to complete the 240 community service hours, DUI school, the clinical evaluation, the victim impact panel, and Your Honor, he also has a fine balance of $1,971. I'm sorry, I didn't actually give that at first, but he does have a fine balance.
And Judge, if I may just add, you know, when he was at Atlanta Mission, he wasn't able to work and then was homeless. He is working now. He's working through a temp agency staff zone. And he is aware of the fine, and the court did waive his fees because of his employment situation. So I think he'll be able to start making payments on those fines.
Okay, Ms. Vigiletti, my concern is, and I understand why he hasn't done anything, but my concern is that there's a lot for him to do here. And if he is not able to complete these terms, he's going to be right back here again. After I've given him the opportunity, there's still going to be a significant balance that if he doesn't do it, that would be revoked. He'll be back in custody. Whereas if he's on a $5,000 bond now that he cannot make, he will remain in jail until that's either modified, I guess, or he can somehow make it. But if I revoke time, then he will and call this to an end, then then he'll be able to get at least this behind him. You understand what I'm saying? So, but if he wants me to give him a second chance, which I often do, I'm happy to do that. Just knowing that if he comes back before me and has, let's just say, in another month or two and hasn't done anything, then at that time I'm going to revoke 5 months, which would be the approximate balance at the time. So with that said, you would like me to reinstate him on probation and give him the opportunity?
Yes, Judge, I appreciate everything you're saying. He does have a family and a support system that's gonna help him make the bond, so I think he'll be able to bond out and will be very motivated to finish this. So thank you.
Okay.
And Your
So,
Honor,
yes.
Probation is going to request that this defendant be required to submit to random screens.
Okay. So how often?
Your Honor, at least twice a month.
Okay, so that means that he's going to have to report at least twice a month, which means that that if you don't report when you're supposed to report, I'd like him to come back before, for me, Officer Allen, if he doesn't start the community service or the DUI school within a month of him getting out of custody, I want him to come back, or any of the other. I want him to start everything within the first month. If he doesn't, then I'd like to have him brought back, especially if he misses reporting to probation. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And if possible, I'd like him, if that happens, I'd like him brought back before me specifically. Okay, so I'm giving you the opportunity, sir, but if you disappoint me, I am, the next time you come before, I hope that you don't, but if you do, I will be revoking this time so we can move on with this matter, okay?
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we will go to position number 42 and 43, Corey Walker.
And this will be a negotiated plea.
Yes, we're Miss Vigilante.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Walker. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, you can place your hands down. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. On position 42, the count of criminal trespass, the state's recommendation is 12 months, served 26 days, credit for time served 13 days. That's going to be from May 20th to May 23rd, 2023. I know there's some more time in there, so let me go check. Balance suspended, stay away from reef parking located at 45 Decatur Street. On position 43, the state will null pros that position upon a plea to position 42. And let me just check the credit for time served, because I believe he is owed some more. And that is going to be credit for time served from, that is correct, April 8th of 2024 to today. In addition to the May time.
Yes, Judge, this is I'm sure you've seen the warrant was very clearly an issue that was a result of Mr. Walker's homelessness, and he and his partner do have a stable place to live now as of just recently. So I'm very optimistic we won't see Mr. Walker again, and he'd like to enter the plea as negotiated.
Your Honor, the state does ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
So stipulated.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Walker, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 003240E, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury? You understand that, Mr. Walker?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
Now, listen to my question. Has anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Walker. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, good morning.
Go to
Position 9 and 10 at ACDC. Position 9 and 10 at ACDC. Miss.
You know what?
Yes, good morning, Ms. Kaziati. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let's see, Mr. McLean? This is your client, I believe, positions 9 and 10.
No, well, let's see.
That's Shannon Cus.
Oh, yes. The last name, I think, is pronounced something like Kashati. That's Shannon. Yes, that is my client.
Okay, so it's my understanding that these are going to be, this is going to be a negotiated plea and a null pros?
Let's see. Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay. So I have Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation on position 9, maintaining a disorderly house, is 12 months probation, served 16 days. Credit for time served 8 days. That's going to be from April 9th, 2024 to today. Balance probated, 40 hours of community service. On position 10, we are agreeable to the null pros upon plea of position 9. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
For those purposes, we do so stipulate.
Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Ms. Kaziati, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 006894E, you wish to plead guilty to maintaining a disorderly house. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated when you complete the terms of the probation and community service. I'll have the probation terminate. So the sooner you get that community service done, the sooner you won't be on probation, okay?
Okay. Am I free
All
to
right.
anywhere? Am I free to do?
I didn't understand your question.
Am I free to do the community service anywhere?
You check with probation and they'll let you know where you can get the community service done, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you now.
Next, we can go to position number 29, Robert Hughes.
This is going to be a negotiated plea.
That is correct, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 12 months served 60 days, credit for time served 30 days. That's going to be from March 18th, 2024 to today. Balance probated, SDET, 60 hours of community service. Stay away from 2890 North Fulton Drive, Northeast. And then we would ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of this plea.
Your Honor, we stipulate for purposes of this plea, Judge, and there's nothing else to add other than respect for request of the court to follow the state's recommendation, Judge.
Mr. Hughes, it's my understanding that in case 24 CR 001283A, you wish to plead guilty to one misdemeanor offense. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to plead guilty?
Yeah, no, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Hughes. When you complete the terms of the probation, I'll have it go to a non-reporting status, okay? So the sooner you get the terms done, the sooner you won't have to actively report to probation, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Hughes.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, I have a question for,
I'm sorry?
I have a question for the position number, you guys. Position number. Newbie Ryan, I wanted to know if Ms. Falk was ready on that case.
Position, pardon me?
35, I believe. Newbie, I think that's what.
Yes, 35 and 36.
I am not. I have not received a response as of yet.
Okay.
Next, we have position 45 and 46, Gabrielle Williams.
Good morning, Ms. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, Ms. Williams. It's my understanding that these are going to be, well, one is a negotiated plea and the other is a not guilty.
Yes, Judge. Ms. Williams would like to enter into a negotiated plea on the theft of services, but would like to plead not guilty to criminal trespass this morning.
Okay, would you like me to arraign her on that or will you file a waiver?
I can send a waiver.
Okay.
And Judge,
Okay.
if I may also ask very quickly, I'm sorry, Ms. Williams and I and our social worker have been working together. We've gotten her into Women on the Rise. And so I was wondering, that's a residential reentry program for women. And I was wondering if you would be willing to sign a release order that releases her to the program along with her medication.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't see necessarily an issue with that. Let me just check. Is this the only charge she's being held on at this point? The theft of services is the only charge she's being held on. And so if she's entering a guilty plea to that charge, then that would release her.
Yes, and she does understand she would have further court dates related to the criminal trespass.
Okay, and the criminal trespass, does she already have a bond on that case?
Yes, and she is bonded out on that case.
Oh, okay, so yes, that's fine. That's fine with me. Okay, so we've dealt with position 46. Let's deal with position 45, the theft of services. Yes, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 12 months served, 96 days, credit for time served, 48 days. That's going to be from February 28th of 2024 to today. Balance probated, stay away from 693 Holcomb Bridge Road, Atlanta, which is the Lush Nail Bar. Restitution of $95 to Lush Nail Bar and an anti-theft course, as well as 40 hours of community service. If I may have a moment to just communicate something to Ms. Vigiletti.
Okay,
PD Vigiletti, in looking at the recommendation again, we are agreeable to time served with the stay away and the no further contact on the criminal so that we can wrap this up and she would not need to come back to court.
Thank you, Ms. Falk. I'm sorry, I believe you cut out for a second. It sounded like you were recommending time served on the jail portion of the criminal trespass.
That would be correct.
And is it possible for me, because I did ask Ms. Williams yesterday about, what if we could get time served, and there was some hesitation. If I could please, Deputy Milton, speak to Ms. Williams really quickly and just make sure we're resolving this the way she prefers.
I will call you at 2392.
Okay, and thank you, Ms. Fox. Excuse me, Judge.
yes. Is there anyone that we can take in courtroom 2 while we wait?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, sir.
Judge, I was just checking on my client, Mr. Victor Collins. I don't know if he ever made it in.
That's position number 8.
Okay, do we know where position number 8 is? Sometimes, Attorney Rowe, they're not brought into courtroom 2, but someone is roaming around with an iPhone. I'm not sure what the situation is with your client.
Your Honor, I believe position number 8 is
Right.
transferred to the DA's office.
That is
Yeah.
correct. I was actually to make that announcement. The DA's office did agree to transfer on this case, Your Honor. Your Honor signed
Right.
that yesterday, and the case has been moved to the DA's office.
Yeah, and I had filed a motion that this case be dismissed because of the same incident was actually filed in the DA's office. So that's fine, Judge.
Okay, so I guess he'll be on a calendar in Superior Court.
Okay, thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good day, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, next we have on the probation revocation calendar, position, Williams, position 8 and 9, Tiffany Williams on the probation revocation calendar.
Okay. And who's representing Ms. Williams?
Your Honor, if I can ask for the court's patience for a couple minutes, both Mr. McLean and Ms. Vigilante are on the phone, Judge.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right.
Okay. You got Tiffany? Mike, you have the Tiffany probation?
Your Honor,
Okay, Mike, Mr. McLean is ready, Judge.
Yes.
Your Honor,
Officer Allen?
on the probation calendar, position number 3, the Jeffrey Havlick, I would like to make an announcement at the end of the calendar concerning his case. This is the one we heard about maybe 10 minutes ago, 10, 15 minutes ago.
Okay. Am I gonna need him to be, is the announcement gonna require him to be
Yes,
present, Officer Allen?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay, courtroom 2, did you hear that?
Can you repeat it? The day?
Yes, apparently there's gonna be an announcement on Mr. Havlick, positions 3 and 4 on the probation revocation calendar, where his presence is gonna be needed. Can we get him back this morning? Anyone in courtroom 2 hear what I had to say?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, all right, we'll get him back, Officer Allen. Let's move on to Ms. Williams. Good morning, Ms. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the probation revocation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Officer Allen?
Ms. Williams was sentenced to probation for the charge of battery and simple battery for a total of 12 months. She was required to do anger management counseling as well as pay probation supervision fees. It's 142 days remaining on her case. She has failed to provide those documents of showing that she completed the program, but at this time, probation is recommended for her to be allowed to continue on probation and enroll in those classes within 1 week.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, she would like to take advantage of that offer of a second chance if the court could agree. And I have good contacts for 3 of her relatives and friends. I think they can help remind her, keep her on track and give us good contact information.
Okay, Ms. Williams, I'll reinstate you on the conditions that probation has just outlined. If you come back before me again and have not done what you need to do, more than likely some time will be revoked at that time. So I encourage you to go ahead on and get this done so you can get this behind you and move on, okay? All right, good luck to you, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we got position 5 and 6 under probation revocation, Ms. Shamika Hunt. Shakima.
And who's representing Ms. Hunt?
Your Honor, I believe that would be Ms. Vigiletti. I think she's almost wrapped up with ACDC judge.
Okay, so this is Ms. Vigiletti's client, Officer Milton.
Okay. And when
Anyone else there that we can handle?
I'll have to, when I finish with these 4 ladies, I'm gonna go and get the others.
Okay. So why don't we just hold on Ms. Hunt until Ms. Vigiletti's off the line?
I have position number 3 and 4 on the probation revocation calendar.
Okay. And that's also Ms. Vigiletti's client,
It is, Judge.
I believe. So we'll have to hold until she's back with us.
Yes, the red one. Hopkins. And your other probation was from that, not sure why she's probation said she wants to make a mask. I'll never say what it is.
Secret.
Yeah.
Great. So I'm sorry.
Okay, so I believe that we have an ACDC, Ms. Hunt. Is that right, Ms. Hunt? This Ms. Hunt? Yes, good morning. Good morning, Ms. Hunt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the probation revocation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Officer Allen?
Ms. Hunt was sentenced to probation for the charge of battery, where she was required to do 12 weeks of anger management classes, as well as pay probation supervision fees. It's 105 days remaining on her case. At this time, probation recommends that she be allowed to continue on probation and enroll in anger management within 1 week.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I believe Ms. Hunt would be my client, and I'm going to have a talk with her.
Okay, did you hear what probation just had to say?
No, but I'll get with them on chat.
Okay, well, they said that they want to continue them on probation, so I take it that you probably wouldn't have a problem with that.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm sure she doesn't either.
Okay.
We can have that talk.
All right, so I will continue you on probation, Ms. Hunt, with the stipulations that you go within a week of getting out of custody and begin those classes. I'm giving you the opportunity, but I don't want you to appear back in front of me, okay?
You want,
All right, good luck. Good luck to you, Ms. Hunt.
thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We can go back to positions 3 and 4 on the probation calendar.
Oh, gosh.
And yes, Officer Allen.
Your Honor, Mr. Havlack, he's in custody for 20 CR 003-001F. As I was preparing this paperwork, I realized that particular case has expired. His case, he had 2 cases in our system and they were consecutive. So his second case is the case that he should be in custody for, and that is not the correct case number that is on the calendar for today. That case needs to be, the case that's on the calendar for today needs to be closed out and expired. And the case number 21 CR 00996F, that is the case that has the 7 months and 25 days remaining. That case started July of last year. So the warrant numbers were mixed up.
And what was he charged with and what was he?
The same, it's actually the same conditions. He was sentenced to pay, I'm sorry, let's see. He was required to pay a fine of $2,071. He was also required to complete 240 hours of community service, as well as complete the DUI clinical evaluation and victim impact panel. So it's the same conditions. I think the fine is a little higher, but it is the same condition.
Okay, and he has the same amount of time as he
Yes,
had before.
yes.
So what we need to do, I guess, is just close out.
What I'm gonna do, close out the first case as expired. I will prepare the order for that one, and then he'll just continue on probation for the second case.
Okay, very good. Thank you for clarity. Ms. Lewis, you have.
Yeah, I have a question. Ms. Allen, it's, are the case numbers you said 21 CR 000996F, the one that's with the DUI?
Yes.
What I'm looking at, it says to run consecutively.
To the first case. The first case, a warrant should have never been done on the first case because that case expired. And the second case was started July of last year and July of this year.
All right. When I thought it meant consecutive, I thought it meant twice, 2 years. Okay.
Okay, so are we all clear? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. So good luck to you, sir.
Ms. Allen.
Who do we have next?
Position 45 and 46, Ms. Gabriella Williams.
And Ms. Vigiletti, I take it that you've had an opportunity to talk with Ms. Williams. What do you all want to do this morning?
I did, Judge. Ms. Williams would like to enter the plea as recommended by Ms. Fox in both cases this morning.
Okay. And let's see, I know that we've already sworn Ms. Williams in and Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor, I provided the recommendation for 45, but not the revised recommendation for 46. So 46 would be 12 months served 4 days, credit for time served 2 days from May 2nd to May 3rd of 2022. Stay away from Guven, Guven Brothers Fine Jewelry located at 2705 Old Milton Parkway, Suite 100. No further contact with Anthony Guven. And I would like to sound for Mr. Guven at this time. And we do ask the defense stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification on positions 45 and 46 for the purposes of this plea.
So stipulated.
Thanks. And if Mr. Guven is present and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so. As such, Ms. Williams, it's my understanding that in case 24 CR 000950 G, you wish to plead guilty to theft of services, and in case 22 CR 002684 G, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct? Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning? You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation? You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury? I think we're having
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just.
Okay, so my question was, you understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges. If you want a trial by, okay, and by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up that right. You understand that?
No, I don't understand that.
Okay, so you're allowed to have if you want to have a trial, you have a right to have a trial by a jury of your peers, okay? But because you've decided to plead guilty, you're giving up that right to have a trial on these charges.
I understand.
Are you understanding that?
Yes.
Okay. Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
Okay, I'll accept the pleas as negotiated. Ms. Williams, on the theft of service, when you complete the probation, the terms of the probation, meaning you pay back the $95 and you take the theft course, I'll have it go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you do it, the sooner you won't be on reporting probation, okay?
Okay. So say
All right.
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? Because I
No, you're fine. Okay, so you'll go on probation so that you can complete the theft course, and you can pay back the $95 to the nail salon. As soon as you do that, then you will not have to have reporting probation. Okay, you won't have to report. You'll still be on probation, but it'll be non-reporting, and you won't have to pay those fees that you would have to pay if you were reporting. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. Good luck to you, Ms. Williams.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, is there 40 hours community service involved in that too? Because I'm trying to clarify.
Oh, yes, and there's 40 hours of community service.
And Ms. Williams, I'm gonna bring it to you in writing, okay? Because I know we
Okay.
talked about it a few times, but I just think in writing is better.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I shall return with the other 6.
Okay, thank you. All right, who do we have on the jail iPhone?
We have position number 8, Mr. Victor Collins. I think he has a private attorney.
Yes, Mr. Collins' case, I believe, has been transferred to Superior Court, so we don't need Mr. Collins this morning. It was a DA transfer.
Okay,
He'll have a hearing in Superior Court.
okay,
All right,
yep.
thank you. Anyone else that we can take in courtroom 2?
So, we still have Mr. Newby waiting for his information to be given to Ms.
Okay.
Williams.
Ms. Falk, since we have a little time to take a break, are you able to call the solicitor that's involved?
If Miss PD Vigiletti could help me narrow it down, there are 3 people. One is currently in trial right now, but the other 2, do you know who the PD talked to in that case?
You know what? I don't, but why don't I call Mr. Pulliam and see if he can track this down for us, since he's the one who had the conversation.
Great. And in the meantime, I'll call the remaining 2 attorneys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. We'll be in recess until someone returns.
PD Vigiletti?
Yes, ma'am.
I did just speak to ASG Dudley, who is the person who had spoken to Mr. Pulliam. He stated he does not ever recall having that conversation, ever agreeing to lift a bench warrant, and he just checked his emails and has no email from Mr. Pulliam talking about any sort of agreement to lift a bench warrant. I'm not saying that Mr. Pulliam is, I will chalk it up to maybe everyone's recollection may have been on a different case, but Evan did specifically say if there had been that kind of agreement, he would have corresponded via email, and he doesn't have any emails regarding any sort of agreement as to this case.
Understood. And Mr. Pulliam did say it was a phone call, so maybe there's a misunderstanding, but
And it may have just gotten, maybe they were talking about different cases or something happened. I'm willing to chalk it up to just a miscommunication, but I would say typically in that situation, we would want something in writing that just states that agreement so we can all get on the same page and there's no confusion. So so based on that, the state is not agreeable to a lifting of the bench warrant. As again, ASG Dudley says he does not recall having any sort of conversation like that.
understood.
So tell me again who this, who we're talking about?
This is on Mr. Newby. Is it Mr. Newby's
Okay.
case?
That's Ryan
Yeah.
Newby.
Yes.
He is here. You want to come sit here for a minute?
But I will say, Your Honor, we can get that. I can reach out to the litigation manager for that judge and get it set down as soon as possible for a hearing in court, if that would assist.
That would be
Okay.
great, because he did,
Okay.
he missed his April 11th court date because he was in custody and they didn't realize he was in custody, and so it would be
Okay.
fantastic to have another court date soon.
Yeah, and I can email them now and just let them know to set this down for the next available court date.
Okay, so positions 35 and 36, Ryan Newby's case will be returned to the division judge for a possible bond modification.
Thank you, Judge, and thanks for your help, Ms. Fogg.
Not a problem.
So that being on the FTA, so what about 36? Are you filing a waiver? Or what are we doing with 36?
I'm sorry, what is, I don't have my notes for which is 36?
Okay, you saying you're sending it back to the judge for regarding the FTA, but
Has he already been arraigned?
no, he's not been
I
arraigned on this
yes,
case.
yes, I see. I will submit a waiver. Yes,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
And who do we have on the jail court's iPhone?
We have position number 20, Antonio Gates.
Okay.
That's my case, Judge.
Okay, and that's going to be a negotiated plea?
It is, Judge. And I apologize. I can't remember if I emailed Ms. Falk or not, but I don't think I did. I was gonna see if the court would be willing to, or the state would be willing to terminate probation or suspend probation once all the conditions are met, which is essentially the bond, Judge. And I apologize if I forgot.
And that is on position 20, Antonio Gates.
That is correct.
Let me just check his history really quickly, and I can give you an answer to that.
I'm afraid the history is not gonna be great.
I looked at my recommendation and I thought to myself, I don't feel like this history is going to be great. But let me just double check. Maybe I'm really looking for anything subsequent to this case.
That would also apply.
Yeah. The state is not agreeable to that. I apologize.
That's fine.
I just can't. Yeah, I just looked at his history and no.
John, we're ready to proceed on the plea paperwork, Judge, because there's so many counts. I just put the global resolution on there, which is the total fine and all that. But other than that, we're ready to proceed with the plea, Judge.
Okay, Good morning, Mr. Gates. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Gates. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation on this is on count one, the manufacturer of license tags, 12 months probation, serve 180 days, credit for time served 90 days. That's going to be from December 19th to December 24th of 2023, January 5th to January 8th of 2024, and January 28th to today. The balance will be probated on count two. It's going to be 12 months probation concurrent to count one with a $135 fine on the missing license plate. Count three, the acquiring license plate for purpose of concealing identification of a motor vehicle, 12 months probation concurrent to count one. Count four, wrong way on a one-way street, 12 months probation concurrent to count one. That's going to include a $265 fine. And lastly, driving on an expired license plate, count five, 12 months probation concurrent to count one with an additional $210 fine. That would make for a total of 12 months probation, serve 180 days, credit for time served 90 days, balance probated, and a $610 fine. The state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea. State has nothing further.
We stipulate, Judge, for purposes of the plea, and we'll just ask the court to follow the state's recommendation.
Okay. Mr. Gates, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 008188E, you wish to plead guilty to unlawful manufacture of license tags, obscured or missing license plate, acquiring a license plate for purpose of concealing identification of a motor vehicle, wrong way on a one-way street, and expired or no license plate or decal. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury? Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Gates. I will have it go to the probation, go to a non-reporting status when you pay the fines. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank
you.
Okay. So while we wait, Mr. Haddad, let's see. On position number 24 and 25, Mr. Grigsby, have you been able to interview him?
No, Judge. I'm hoping that they'll get him on. I suspect it's going to be a not guilty judge, but I just want to, make sure that's what he wants.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I went to, they moved him, he was in 2 North, but they apparently moved everybody to another part of the jail. I went there, waited about 45 minutes, Judge, and had no luck, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll give
they got him, I'm sorry, they got him listed here on 4 South. I'm on my way over there now to try to get him, Mr.
All
Grigsby.
right. Okay, thank you.
All right.
But once he appears, Judge, if I can have a breakout session, I'll be quick, Judge. I don't.
Oh, no, you take your time. And of course you can have a breakout session. Let's see, Ms. Lewis, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
On positions 30, 31, and 32, I see that a conflict attorney is needed, but I don't see any conflict attorney on the line. Did we assign?
Was on the line earlier.
Oh, she was on earlier?
Yes, she
Okay.
was. She may have got called away into court. I will have to find out where her exact location at, but she was on the line when we started court.
Okay. We don't have.
Judge, I'll reach out to Ms. McLeod.
Okay, well, we don't have him with us at the present time, but I was just wanting to make sure that we'd assign somebody. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know if that Monday.
Ms. Falk, did you get my email regarding position Position 21 and 22 and 23. Did you get my email? Regarding position number 23, the FTA doesn't belong to position number 22, belongs to position 21 with that person either taking a plea.
Right, we need to
The
just
days.
put on hold for this case FT. Stood on the
The
same.
Jordan had put a note on the calendar to indicate what was going on.
Right, yes, let me just check. something.
And she already posted bond on the case that was transferred. So
Right,
this
okay.
FTA is the only thing that's holding her in jail that shouldn't be. She's already took a plea on this case.
Understood. I will do the null pros for the FTA. I just wanted to make sure they had assigned this case.
They did.
Yeah, they did. I just wanted to make sure they had signed the case, the PI number, because before I did the dismiss, the null pros of the FTA. So it doesn't get lost.
Yeah, but this case wasn't even associated to the case that was transferred.
No. But because she's in custody, they'll assign it a PI number. And so I wanted to make sure that number actually got assigned first.
Okay. And I did receive the other null pros. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'm doing that null pros right now.
Yes. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, on that, nobody needs. Okay. I think Jarvis is okay.
Speeches are off. So I'm gonna see Mr. Davis for you. And if I don't see you again in here, I'll just email you with all the information that I have so far. Let me just say to me.
Nope.
You see how I walk slow over here and sit it low? I said, I walked over here and sit it low and I came slow.
Yeah, you love it.
I know, but that's why, look, I came over here with nice. Please, boss.
I can't say no.
How you been?
Sure.
Make it. I'm making it. That's the best way to put it.
There you go. There you go.
I ain't drowned.
Right.
I'm all right, there you go. Can I ask you for a favor?
Yeah, but I mean.
Whatever you do. Yeah, from now, I already said, you know. Why every time you are?
Yeah, try to get in the habit to send the please, even though I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not.
I should, yeah, but.
Courtroom 2, you may want to mute.
I guess we're not saying anything bad about anybody, right?
Just wanted to catch it before you did. Petey McLean.
He's here.
Okay. If you could check the chat.
Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. On 3/24, Smith was taken into custody by Union City Police and taken to the East Point Jail, which they used.
Right.
So the 15 days break on everything for that. But what he's talking about on each case, other than the one that was on 3/24, on each case, he already spent several days when they initially happened. But one of the three happened on 3/24.
Okay.
But the other two, he would have substantially different or significantly different. And I'm going through the 70-page bind over package, trying to figure out how many days here and how many days there. However, he is stuck with the 15 days on whatever it was that happened on 3/24
Correct.
of this year. Which case was that?
That would be the theft by shoplifting, which is 24 CR 0016004C, position 39.
Did he shoplift from the Quick Trip or from where?
That was the shoplifting from the Walgreens.
Walgreens. Okay, what did he take?
How about we do this? Here's my recommendation on this. Why don't I take positions 40 and 38 down to time served?
Okay.
In other words, 12 months served, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days.
That leaves the middle one, right? Okay.
Correct. And then that would leave the middle one where he would get time back from March 24th. So I need to do the calculations on moving the time back from March 24th.
Okay. Now, if your recommendation stays at 12 MP, 60D, 15D on the case from March 24th, that would result in him having 15 more days to go. 15 down, 15 to go. Half of 60 is 30.
Well, hold on. According to, he was arrested on March 24th.
So today is the 16th. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my goodness. No.
Yeah, no, I don't think it does. That's why I'm just double checking, but I do think that would release him probably for time served. But let me just double check.
Because there were 31 days in March, so that would be like 7 or 8 days in March on top of 16 days now. So 7 and 16 is 23. And he'd have like 7 days to go. Something like something.
So
like,
he would have served 23 days.
yeah. So if he gets anywhere from 0 to 7 days to go, whatever math we call it,
Yeah.
if he's out in 0 to 7 days, he's a happy camper.
Okay.
He'd love for it to be 0, by the way. But
I like I said, I'll bring 38 and 40 down to time served and give him that time from March 24th.
very good.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. That.
And who do we have at the jail? iPhone?
We're not getting any audio there.
They're on mute.
And Your Honor, it also appears Attorney Ed Adams is here.
That's correct.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Adams. Which case are you here on today?
He's on the add-on counter. It's the case on the add-on counter. Did you get the add-on, Judge?
I did. Rodrigo Woodard.
That's correct.
Okay. We'll be with you as soon as we can.
Okay, if I talk to him for 1 second, that'd be good.
Okay. Yeah.
Your
As soon
Honor,
as we have them before us. Yes.
I have position 5 and 6, Clifford Clark and he's position 1 and 2 on the probation revocation calendar.
I've got him.
Your Honor, the jail court phone, iPhone, is that Mr. Grigsby?
I've been trying to raise them, but they won't unmute for me, so I'm not sure.
Okay, now you got it.
I'm sorry, you guys asked about the iPhone?
Yes, is this, who do we have?
This is position number 24 and 25, Mr. Grigsby.
Okay, so Mr.
Can I get those case numbers? That's not the case. Oh, that's okay.
No, I'll, if we
Dad?
we got room.
Okay,
Can I get the case numbers for 24 and the case number for 25, please?
we'll let you talk to your attorney. He will give you what you need this morning.
I'm representing myself. Judge, I'm representing myself.
Okay, Mr. Grigsby, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We were going to provide you with Attorney Haddad to represent you. It's my understanding that that you wish to proceed pro se this morning. Is that correct?
You're saying that you're giving me a indignant, what do they call it, indignant attorney, or you're giving me or you're providing me with a public defender?
We're giving you the opportunity to utilize the services of a public defender today if you choose to. Mr. Haddad is on the line. He will be more than happy to speak with you about the charges today if you would.
That's fine. Just out of curiosity, Judge Marlowe, what courtroom are you in?
We are doing this by Zoom, so we're not in an actual courtroom.
They're not in so this is actually an arbitration.
No, sir. Mr. Haddad, would you mind speaking with Mr. Grigsby? So we're going to place you all into a breakout room.
Sure. No
Okay.
problem.
And all right. So he'll be able to answer whatever questions you have, Mr. Grigsby. Is Mr. While we are getting them into a breakout room, Mr. McLean, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are ready to move forward with
Position 5 and 6 on the SAP calendar, and he's also on position 1 and 2 on the probation revocation calendar. Mr.
Okay.
Christopher Clark.
So Mr. McLean, it's my understanding that on this all-purpose calendar of 5 and 6, that these are going to be negotiated pleas. Is that correct?
Right, Your Honor. Overall, I'm not sure of what the balance is when we get to the probation portion, because that was, I'm sure it was transmitted on the previous week, and I'll go back and look it up. But it's kind of a global situation for him that he's asking of the court. Technically speaking, if there's a variation from the offer, that wouldn't be negotiated, it'd be unnegotiated. But he does want to plead guilty to everything and then simply make an argument of don't leave him in too long. Just simply put.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Clark. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you. Let's start with positions 5 and 6 on the regular calendar. Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. On position 5 on the reckless conduct, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation, serve 180 days, credit for time served 69 days. That will be from February 7th of 2024. Balance probated, no firearms, take a firearms safety course, no further violent contact with Tisha Lowe, and no further contact with James Brightwell. Count 2 would be 12 months probation concurrent to count 1. On the next position, the count of battery, the state's recommendation is 12 months, serve 140 days, credit for time served 69 days. That is from February 7th, 2024 until today. balance probated, 12 weeks anger management, 60 hours community service, and no further contact with Atisha Lowe. We would like to, at this time to sound for Atisha Lowe and James Brightwell, and we do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this negotiated plea.
For those purposes, we do so stipulate.
Okay, if Ms. Lowe or Mr. Brightwell are with us and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity. Does not appear so. And let me go to Officer Allen before we go forward as far as the probation case goes. Yes, Officer Allen.
Your Honor, the defendant failed to complete the domestic violence counseling. Also, now probation is just now being made aware that he's had contact with Atisha Lowe. So the defendant at this time, he has 169 days remaining on his case, and probation recommends that his case be revoked.
Was that 169?
169, yes, 169 days.
Tell me again, Officer Allen, what conditions he was supposed to complete?
He was required to do the domestic violence counseling, stay away from the incident location, and no contact with Atisha Lowe.
Okay. Okay, Mr. McLean.
So in summary, Your Honor, on the case where Your Honor may note that the recommendation of the state was 140 days to serve, basically that's 1 extra day. The case where the recommendation was 180 to serve, that calculates to 21 extra days. Those cases are not a problem for him pleading guilty and withstanding or having to do the 21 extra days concurrent with the 1 extra day. The problem he has is he's already been in 69 days, and he's facing the 169 revocation, and he would throw himself on the mercy of the court. He's in a position where he's in violation of his probation, and that's all he can do, and he certainly does. Ask for the court to consider how much time it takes to learn a lesson, and he is remorseful that he didn't do the counseling, and we'll put it that. I talked to I attempted to get hold of several friends of his. I did talk to one who said that, you know, he's a sincere fellow, but he has messed up here.
Okay, so basically you're telling me that he did nothing on the battery family violence charge for what he's on probation for. So he didn't do the DVIP class. Not only did he not do the DVIP class, he violated the order by engaging in another battery with Ms. Lowe. And you're asking me that you want me to give him some consideration for what?
Right. Well, beyond the 21 extra days that he would get on one of the SAP cases, if Your Honor could consider giving him no more, say, another month or two.
No, I'm not gonna consider that, because he didn't do anything with this. Not only did he not do anything, you go to DVIP for a reason, right? That we have DVIP for a reason. He not only didn't go to it, he went out and battered her, the same person that he was supposed to be staying away from again. So no, I'm going to revoke the 169 days.
Understood.
Okay. And it's my understanding that the other two were negotiated pleas, so I'll accept the recommendation from the state on those matters.
I would call those negotiated pleas. Yes, he was agreeing to the math there.
Okay. So anything further, Mr. McLean?
Mr. Clark, is there anything I can add on your behalf?
Yes, Your Honor, on that reckless conduct, which was in, I want to say 2023, January. That reckless conduct cases, some of that stuff she said is not true. I did not threaten her. I did not aim a gun at her. I had an affidavit, sworn here about last year sometime. I stated what I did, and I did not aim. I did shoot, and I told, and I on the affidavit at this minute stating that I said that I would celebrate New Year's, not celebrate.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Clark. You have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you. If you would like to talk to Mr. McLean about any of this that you're saying in open court, I'm happy to give you that opportunity, but I'm sure that Mr. McLean will probably advise you that you should remain silent. Do you need to speak with him again, Mr. McLean, regarding this? It's my understanding that Mr. Clark is going to enter a negotiated plea to reckless conduct, terroristic threats and acts, and battery.
Well, that is my understanding, yes. And I can double check to make sure he understands exactly the import of the pleas. I believe he does, but I think he's just looking at the overall, he's looking at the revocation. And we don't have the same strength of persuasion potentially of going to trial on something like that because he already pled. He's already under sentence and he's already made promises to the court. So we'll talk further, but Mr. Clark, are we standing with our pleas? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought so.
Okay, so Mr. Clark, it's my understanding that in case 24 CR 0000183Y, you wish to plead guilty to reckless conduct and terroristic threats and acts, and in case 24 CR 0000684Y, you wish to plead guilty to battery. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, I should not.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, I do, Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
Okay, I'll accept the pleas as negotiated. Mr. Clark. And as far as the probation revocation calendar goes, I'm going to revoke 169 days as requested by the probation department. I will give you credit for the 69 days that you've been in custody. Good luck to you, sir.
I'm kind of confused on the no further violent contact. On position number 5, y'all have no further violent contact. And then on position 6, you have no further contact.
Right. My apologies. It should have been amended to no further contact. I think when it was being prepared, that was a discrepancy on the part of the attorney. So apologies.
Okay, so number 6 is no further contact.
Correct.
And 12 weeks of angry management, 60 hours community service. Correct?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I got it correct.
Oh, no. I understand. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, who do we have next?
Position 12, Agatha Davis.
That's a plea.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Davis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
That's fine.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You can place your hand down. Yes, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. On this case, and this is Miss Davis's case, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the recommendation on this case, Your Honor, is, let me just scroll up to the right person. On the theft by shoplifting, 12 months probation, serve 50 days, credit for time served 25 days. That's going to be from March 23rd of 2023 to today. Balance probated, $500 fine, an anti-theft course, and stay away from 142 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard in Atlanta. On count 2, the simple battery, state's recommendation is 12 months probation, and the FBIP is struck. 40 hours of community service, 8 weeks of anger management, no further contact with Mamunur Chowdhury. And count 3, the giving false information to law enforcement officers, 12 months probation concurrent with count 1. We did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Chowdhury. He did say he will not be on Zoom today, but does agree with the plea offer. Just out of an abundance of caution, I would like to sound for Mr. Chowdhury and would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
For those purposes, we do so stipulate. Now, 142 Joseph Lowry is which? Is that the store itself?
Right. Let me pull that up really quickly, but yes, it is a store, and the store's name is. That looks like it's going to be the E&A Superette.
I'm sorry, the what?
E&A Superette is what the name of the building looks like. SUPRETTE.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chowdhury's on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis, it's my understanding that in case 24 CR 001366J, you wish to plead guilty to theft by shoplifting, simple battery, and giving false information to law enforcement. Is that correct?
Yes,
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
no,
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
yes,
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
yes,
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
no, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Ms. Davis. When you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you won't have to actively report to probation, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Davis.
Judge, I'm just need clarification. Ms. Falk, you said scratch the VIP to do 8 weeks of anger management class,
That is correct.
and then she used to pay the $500 fine on the other one?
That is correct.
Okay,
On the theft by shoplifting,
okay.
yes.
I just want to make sure that it's clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I make a quick announcement?
Yes,
Your Honor, on position number 24 and 25, Derek Grigsby, who's on the jail phone. If I can request to reset it for Tuesday of next week. He wanted me to argue for a bond hearing, and I'm honestly not ready today. I can't, I just needed some time. So hopefully I'll be able to see him next time around. So.
okay. I think next Tuesday is the 23rd. Is that right? 16th.
That's correct, Judge. It is the 23rd.
Okay, so we'll reset Mr. Grigsby position number 24 and 25 until next Tuesday.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. We'll see you back next Tuesday, Mr. Grigsby.
Position 18 and 19, Ms. Gaskins.
Okay.
That is also a plea, Your Honor.
Yes, good morning, Ms. Gaskins. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you raise your right hand for me, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Falk.
My apologies. It looks like I was muted. On Ms. Gaskin's case, position 18, the DUI is going to be 12 months probation, served 24 days, credit for time served 12 days. That's going to be from April 4th, 2024 to today. Balance probated. ADET, DUI risk reduction, $600 fine, 240 hours of community service, victim impact panel, and 1 year license suspension. Counts 2 and 3 will merge with count 1. Count 4 will be 12 months concurrent to count 1. That is the failure to maintain lane. Count 5, the following two closely, will be 12 months probation with a $265 fine And count 6, the failure to signal, will be a 12 months probation concurrent with count 1 with a $265 fine. The total will be 12 months served, 24 days, credit for time served 12 days, balance probated, ADET, DUI risk reduction, $1,130 in fines, 240 hours of community service, victim impact panel, and 1 year license suspension. The state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
We do so stipulate for the purposes of the plea. The audio cut out for just a couple of split seconds. We are going, of course, the 2 DUI counts, one is pro se and one is less safe, are in the alternative, and the one left, the one remaining is the pro se or the less safe.
The per se is the remaining count. The less safe will merge.
That was our understanding. Thank you. Just want to make sure.
Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Ms. Gaskins, it's my understanding, in case 22 CR 002377E, you wish to plead guilty to DUI per se, failure to maintain lane, following too closely, and failure to signal lane change. Is that correct? You're gonna have to either move it
Yes.
a little. Okay, thank you. You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Ms. Gaskins. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Next, we have, which is Gibbs? Come on, Ms. Gibbs. Position 21 through 23, Ms. Katrika Gibbs. And after that is McClendon. It's position 34, McClendon.
Okay, so it's my understanding that there's been a DA transfer in position 22.
That is correct, Your Honor. I submitted that to Your Honor for his signature, I believe it was yesterday.
Yes, I signed all those that you sent.
Right, and she has been assigned a PI number at this point by the Superior Court. We did, however, null pros position 23, which was the failure to appear. On position 21, that failure to appear was based on a plea that had already been addressed in September of 2023. This is currently the only thing holding her, so we did submit that null pros to Ms. Lewis for Your Honor's signature.
Okay, so the only matter that needs to be the only matter that will be before a court will be position 22, and that's been transferred to Superior Court. Okay,
That is correct, Your Honor.
so Ms.
Your Honor,
Gibbs, Mr. McLean.
If I might chime in a bit, I understand she made her bond on 22 a few days ago. And so even though the transfers happened after she made the bond, can anybody think of any reason why why not making the bond should not be effective?
I don't believe so, PD McLean. I mean, once the bond is made, it's made, and but again, the case was transferred, and the remainder of the case will be addressed in Superior Court, but it should not have an effect on her bond.
Thank you.
Okay, so if she's made bond and and doesn't have anything else holding her, she should be released. Okay, good luck to you, ma'am.
Position 34, McClendon, Natasha McClendon.
And what are we doing with Ms. McClendon this morning, Ms. Vigiletti?
Your Honor, Ms. McClendon would like to enter a plea of not guilty this morning. She did want to attend court, so she is here before you. I am happy to file a waiver of arraignment.
Okay. Ms. McClendon, a waiver of arraignment will be filed on your behalf. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll get notification of your next hearing date, ma'am. Okay.
Judge, it's possible that is Miss McClendon, Gladys McClendon on this morning? She is the victim in this case. And I heard she may want to speak this morning, but I don't see her on the screen.
We did have a conversation with Miss McClendon. She stated she agreed with the offer and will not be on Zoom, but we can sound for her just out of an abundance of caution, Your Honor. Is Miss Gladys McClendon here in court today? Hearing nothing, Your Honor, the state is ready to proceed.
Thank you.
Okay, so, again, the case will be returned to the division judge and she'll get notification of her next hearing date. Good luck to you, Ms. McClendon.
Thanks, Your Honor.
All right, Your Honor, I believe I am finished.
Okay, very good. Thank you,
Thank
Officer Nelson. See you next time.
Okay.
Who do we have on the jail court's iPhone?
We have positions 38 through 40, Mr. Smith.
Okay. And these are going to be pleas, is that right, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may speak for a moment directly to Mr. Smith, he and I, in our conversation on Sunday, not yesterday, we're talking about a lot of math. Mr. Smith, the final result is the state has changed its recommendations so that you end up with a global offer that would be approximately what you had calculated. And so that was how many extra days, Ms. Falk?
I am not an expert on days calculation. I just know that he received 23 days credit for time served.
Right, so on the 60 divided by 2 equals 30, and 23 days from that, that would be 7 days, Mr. Smith, which was what you and I were talking about as the final result. The state accommodated you by believing that on the other 2 cases, it would work out to other amounts because of previous time you spent at the East Point jail. So you have been heard.
Okay. Let's see. Good morning, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. And it's okay to do this by video, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Falk.
Your Honor, on position 38, state's recommendation is 12 months served 30 days, credit for time served 15 days from April 2nd of 2024 to today. Balance probated, stay away from 4745 State Route 138. No further contact with Darren Sanders, 8 weeks of anger management. This is a global recommendation with the remaining 2 cases. Position 39, the theft by shoplifting is going to be 12 months served 60 days, credit for time served 23 days. That's from March 24th to April 2nd at the East Point Jail, and then from April 2nd, 2024 to today. Balance probated, stay away from Walgreens located at 4617 Jonesboro Road, Union City, an anti-theft course and a $500 fine. On position position 40, the public drunk would be 12 months probation, 16 days to serve, credit for time served 8 days. That's from April 2nd, 2024 till today. Balance probated, stay away from 6604 Londonderry Way in Union City, which is the La Quinta Inn. And sorry, that should not be SD, that should be ADET. And the loitering and prowling, 12 months concurrent with count 1. So the total recommendation, Your Honor, would be 12 months, 60 days, credit for time served 23 days. Balance probated, stay away from Walgreens, La Quinta Inn, and Quick Trip. No further contact with Darren Sanders, 8-week anger management, anti-theft course, $500 fine, and ADET. The state would sound for Mr. Darren Sanders, And we would like to ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
For those purposes, we do so stipulate.
Mr. Sanders is present, wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Anything further, Mr. McLean?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Smith, it's my understanding that in case 24 CR 001603C, you wish to plead guilty to disorderly conduct. In case 24 CR 001604C, you wish to plead guilty to theft by shoplifting. And in case 24 CR 001606C, you wish to plead guilty to public drunken loitering and prowling. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor. Can I say?
Hold on, Mr. Smith. You have a right to remain silent, and anything that you say can be used against you, okay? So if you have a question that you want to ask Mr. McLean, I'm happy to give you that opportunity. I just don't want you to say something that might impact what we're doing here, okay?
Yes.
Do you need to speak? I'm happy to give you the opportunity to speak with him privately if you'd like me to.
No, I can speak now. Actually, it's 24 days I've been locked up instead of 23. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Well, did you hear him, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor. I will carefully look at the calendar and see if it's 23 or 4.
Okay. Mr. Smith, you understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
And I'll accept the pleas as negotiated. Mr. Smith, when you complete the term for the probation, I'll have it go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get the terms done, the sooner you don't have to be actively reporting to probation and pay those fees, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Smith. And Your Honor, if one counts 24 through 31, there were 31 days in March. It's true that would represent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. And we have been through the majority now. It's almost noon. 16 days in April and 8 days in March would equal 24.
Okay. All right, so again, good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have position number 41. Mr. Vicks.
You need,
Possible for me to speak to Mr. Biggs. It seems as if yesterday he was caught up in the 4 South not being accessible issue, so I was not able to speak with him yesterday.
okay, do you have your laptop there, Ms. Vigiletti?
We are actually alone in the courtroom. Could we just maybe put the whole courtroom into a breakout with jail courts?
Okay. So if we will place courtroom 2 and jail court's iPhone into a breakout, and while they're doing that, I guess the court will be in recess.
Okay, Judge.
Has the bench warrant case arrived? Stantavis King?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, Mr. King. We'll be with you when we can, okay? I just wanted to see if you were with us. All right, we'll be with you, sir.
Okay.
All right, so court will be in recess until courtroom 2 comes back.
Thank you. I'm talking to a client real quick.
Miss Lewis,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have a Angela Williams on your calendar?
Wellens?
Williams, Angela Williams.
Williams, no.
Okay.
Hold on, I don't think, I know we got a lot of Williams today. I don't see none. What's,
I don't have that booking
her
number.
booking number? That's all I was gonna ask you, what is her booking number? Um, I don't have a Williams, only Williams I had at the time was Gabrielle. You don't know her booking number off that?
No,
Hold on, let me see if I
my
can find it.
Odyssey is down, so
That's what I see, I can find it right quick. Her last name is Williams
yes,
and her first name is Angela.
yes. Oh, never mind, my bad. I'm moving faster than my brain.
That's okay. You
All
figure it
right.
out?
That's it. I just realized she's on the 5 o'clock calendar. All right, thank you.
Nope.
Yes, Ms. Vigilante.
Yes, I spoke with Mr. Vix. He would like to enter the plea as negotiated this morning. I do just want to flag that this incident does stem from his workplace. And so by taking a plea today, of course, he'll have to stay away from his workplace. So my only request this morning is if you consider waiving the first few months of probation fees to give him a chance to find a new job.
Okay. Yes, good morning, Mr. Vix. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yep.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, sir. Yes, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor. In this recommendation, the state recommended 12 months probation, serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. That's from April 2nd, 2024 to today. Balance probated, stay away from the Crystal located at 1055 Holcomb Bridge Road in Atlanta. No further contact with Joshua Watkins, 12-week anger management, and as to count 2, our recommendation is 12 months probation concurrent with count 1. We would like to sound for Mr. Joshua Watkins, and we would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea. That's all for the state.
So stipulated.
Mr. Watkins is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Vigilante, anything further?
No, Judge.
Mr. Vix, it's my understanding that in case 24 CR 001597J, you wish to plead guilty to simple assault and terroristic threats and acts. Is that correct?
I do.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
This morning? You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Can you repeat that for me, sir?
Yes, you understand that you do have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, but by pleading guilty to the charges, you're giving up that right. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Vix, let's see. Given your circumstance, I'll waive the first 2 months of probation fees to help you get and stay on your feet and get a job. And when you complete the terms of the probation, I'll have it go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you won't have to be on active probation and paying those fees, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Vix.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that we can? Doesn't, okay.
Judge, our deputies did call Union City because we do have 2 clients housed at Union City today. I'm not sure, we're having trouble getting hold of them.
Okay.
And this is Jail Court iPhones. I still have 2 more that I have to go locate on 4 North.
Okay. We'll hold until you get back. Thank you.
Okay.
Who's representing Mr. King this afternoon?
I will.
Now, are you representing him, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor.
And have you spoken with him?
Yes,
Are we ready to proceed?
we are.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. King. I'll need for you to lower your camera so I can see your
morning.
face. Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Doing well, thank you, Mr. King. Ms. Falk, I take it that Mr. King missed a court date?
Yes, Your Honor. Let me pull up that information for the court. My apologies. I didn't realize we were switching over to the bench warrant calendar.
No, you're fine, Ms. Falk. I just wanted to.
Okay. So. So what I am showing under Mr. King, let's see. is that in Judge Richardson's court, he failed to appear on April 1st of 2024. I will say he also failed to appear on January 22nd of 2024. In the events tab, it says that, let's see. At the bottom, it says something about the defendant was FTA on January 22nd, 2024, but then appeared on January 24th, 2024. He did change his address on January 24th, 2024, but it did say address is challenged. It's a PO box. And then he failed to appear on April 1st, 2024. So we actually have 2 times that he didn't show up for court, but 1 time, the last time, is what resulted in the FTA being issued.
Okay, Mr. McLean?
Right, now, when I did the computer search and looked at the, clicked on that caret that brings up all the addresses, I've got 100 Postmaster Drive, McDonough for the previous address, but on April the 4th, after having this court on April the 1st, he did again quickly, within 3 days, he got down to the courthouse and gave them a good physical address that's not a post office. And it's in Lithonia, and it checks out. So he's got a good phone number, he's got a good address, and he asked the court to forgive this inadvertent missing of court. It would have been better if he'd had a better address there.
So let me see if I have this. He changed his address on the 22nd of January. Did he change his address at any other time before the April 1st missed court date? And why, and I haven't heard why he missed that court date, Mr. McLean.
Right. Now, I have the Postmaster Drive, which I'm not understanding if that is the correct. I haven't hovered the cursor over the one with Postmaster Drive, so I don't have the date. I can't answer the court's question because I don't have the date of when that address was put in there. It used to be Raven Valley Court in Decatur, then it went to 100 Postmaster Drive, and now it is Russ Lane. And Russ Lane should receive mail better than the other. When he changed it before, it just didn't turn out to work very well.
Okay, so the Russ Lane address is your address, Mr. King?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how long have you lived at that address?
Not too long. I was going through a situation. I had told her my mom just passed. So my sister staying in the house. We got some little beef going on right now. So she ain't been giving me my mail. So we in the process of trying to sell the house, the 4409 Raven Valley address. That's what I told. I talked to Miss Daniels. So she say the postmaster address didn't work. That's a PO box. She said, so keep calling. Fulton County Jail, I've been calling. I got screenshots. I've been calling every week. My bond people call. I called every week. I got screenshots. I call every week. Do I got to put that? They say no. So my bond people called me the other day, like, dog, you got a warrant on you. I was like, what? I just called the jail. They said I ain't have no court date. I went down there too. They said I ain't have no court date. I had the bond dude on the phone. He was like, so I had it. It was just a runaround, man. It just my mom passed and my sister just ain't been giving me my mail, man. So.
Okay, so Mr. King, what I want to do is I want to make sure I have a proper address where you won't miss court again. Okay?
Yeah,
so
no, I ain't miss.
What address is that going to be? Is that going to be the Russ Lane address or the
I'm
Raven
gonna just
Valley
go with the
address?
Russ Lane. Yeah, the Russ Lane address. Yeah, cause they said I couldn't use the PO. I had to go get a PO box. I didn't know that. I talked to Miss Daniel, and she was like, "That ain't gonna work." And I was like, "Dog, that's all I had right now." So I got a better address now, like to get my mail and my court dates. Cause I ain't been giving my mail, man. We beefing right now. So she just,
Okay,
my mom that passed, she been staying in that house over 30 years, man. And that's, I was taking care of her and making sure she was good. So my sister ended up moving in the house right before she passed. And she just been not giving me my mail. And it's too much, man. It was too much.
Okay, so I'm going to give you another opportunity, Mr. King. So if we have the Russ Lane address, you don't have any problems with getting mail at the Russ Lane address? You're telling me that? That's okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So we'll make sure that we have the Russ Lane address, Mr. McLean, so that he doesn't miss court. I'm going to give you one other opportunity, Mr. King. I'm sorry.
Thank you too, Your Honor.
I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your mother and the things that you're going through. I appreciate you trying to keep in touch with the court and at least calling, but I'll give you that one other opportunity. We'll set aside this bench warrant, Mr. McLean, and if you'll prepare that paperwork to get to Ms. Lewis. All right, Mr. King, you have a good rest of your day.
Okay, thank you too, huh?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
All right, is there anyone else that we can take right now? Have you all continued to try to contact Union City? Let's see, Miss Grace, can we try to, Miss Vigiletti, have you tried again to contact Union City?
Yes, Judge, Officer Norris was able to contact someone about 7-8 minutes ago. Oh, and it looks like they're on the phone again right now. So they're joining us?
Yeah.
Okay, they're joining us right now.
Okay,
Ms. Falk, I'm not sure if it's too late, but if I could direct your attention to the emails we just received about Mr. Newby.
I did just see those series of emails, and based on that, we are fine with you drafting the order for the bench warrant to be lifted.
Okay, thank you. Judge Morrow, regarding Ryan Newby, who we spoke at length about today, the prosecutor, Mr. Dudley, and Mr. Pulliam, and Ms. Falk and I have all been emailing, and Ms. Falk and Mr. Dudley did consent to lifting the bench warrant in his case, so I can draft that if you're agreeable to sign that.
yes, if you all have consented to it, I will sign it.
I will
Yeah.
say that Ms. Falk did not consent to it. Mr. Dudley did, and the state will agree to go along with the prosecuting attorney who's handling that case.
Thank you, Ms. Falk.
And so as far as the position, the charges, his bond will be reinstated?
Yes, Your Honor,
Yeah.
and that would
Okay.
further notice his case for trial.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that Ms. Lewis has that down, okay?
Yes, sure.
You have everything you need on that, Ms. Lewis?
Yeah, yes, sir, I got everything. So the position 36 is gonna be reset for the notice for trial, and then position 35, the FTA is gonna be set aside.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, so we are still holding on a number of cases.
Is Mr. Adams on client at Union City too?
All right.
Can we find, I know that we still have two that they are trying to locate in the jail or getting to in the jail. When the deputy comes back, I'll ask him who he has that he'll be bringing before us. But I still have the add-on, Mr. Woodard, that we need to deal with.
Which is Mr. Adams.
Position 1, Bolton. Has someone talked to him? Is someone representing?
Sure, when he is made available, we will have to do a short breakout to speak to him. His mother is on the Zoom, but I do need to speak to Mr. Bolton.
Okay. Then I have that conflict, Mr. Jeter, we need to have and get Ms. McLeod. Position.
I got an announcement
Yes.
on that one. I'm sorry for interrupting. On Mr. Jeters, he's gonna have to be reset to next week. Apparently Ms. McLeod is not available. She had to go to another court session, and she had another doctor's appointment, so she's not gonna be able to deal with his case today. And he has a felony hold on him anyway.
Okay, so reset for
Next
till
Tuesday.
next Tuesday.
The
Okay.
23rd.
All right, so positions 30, 31, and 32. Will we reset to the 23rd? We still have to deal with position 37, who apparently is at Union City, Monte Price. And those are the ones that I have. I don't know if I've missed anyone.
Also, Ms. Falk, I do not see a transfer order for position 47, Anthony Woods. Supposed to been transferred also to the DA.
I will go back and double check the transfer orders that were sent over and see if those were included. If it wasn't, I will reach back out to the DA's office I know they sent a gaggle of them over, but I wasn't sure exactly which ones.
No, I didn't get that one for Mr. Wood.
Okay.
And we also have position 7 on the probation revocation calendar to go. It's my understanding. Okay, we'll be in recess until we have someone else before us.
Miss Lewis, I do not see one for Mr. Wood. I will resubmit that to the DA's office. Can we reset till next week?
I'm on mute. I'm sorry. Yeah, we can reset them to Tuesday. That's fine.
Thank you, and I'll resubmit the request.
Okay, all righty.
Hey, you remember who you talked to? Look who. Susan.
What?
I just, what?
I have no notice yet that they're here.
Okay, who do we have on the jail court's iPhone?
We have position, well, this is, I don't have a position for, but this is Woodward, Rodrigo Woodward. Woodard, I'm sorry, Woodard.
Okay, and this is Mr. Adams's client. Mr. Adams, did you need to speak with Mr. Woodward?
Yeah, just for 2 seconds, John.
Okay, you're fine. So I'm going to place you into a breakout room with the jail court's iPhone so that you all can discuss whatever you need to. So, Ms. Grace, could we place Mr. Adams and jail court's iPhone into a breakout room, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there someone at the South Annex that we can take? Who do we have at the South Annex? Can you all hear me?
Monte Price.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, Ms. Vigiletti, do you need to speak with Mr. Price?
Just briefly, we've spoken before, but not in several days now. I am joining Zoom from my phone quickly so that I don't hold anything else up. So that is
So Judge, you want me to place Ms. Vigiletti and South Annex in a breakout?
If you would, please, Ms. Grace.
Thank you.
Judge, I sent over some paperwork for you to sign.
Thank you.
First on the back row.
Are you gonna be on there as well? Are you gonna be on there as well?
Hey, have you all, Mr. Adams, have you all gone into the breakout room? You back with us? You're on mute, Mr. Adams.
Am I still?
Okay.
All right, I should be off.
Okay, so what are we gonna do with Mr. Woodward today?
I think it'd be a plea if I can get with the listen and I didn't get an offer yet, but let's see if we can do it.
Okay.
I can talk to her over the phone. That's all right. We don't need to go breakout.
Okay, Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. We did submit an offer to Mr. Adams, but I'm more than happy to submit it again. Let's see. The offer that we emailed Mr. Adams was. Okay, the offer that we sent Mr. Adams on April 4th of 2024 was 12 months probation with 60 days to serve, credit for time served 2 days. That's going to be from March 6th to March 7th of 2023. No further contact with Abriona Haywood and RW, the minor child. Family Violence Intervention Program, 40 hours of community service, and stay away from 1225 Fairburn Road, apartment Y4.
Okay, he's been in, not on this case, but he's been in for about a month. Can we do that?
Well, I completely understand, Mr. Adams. Unfortunately, I can't give him credit for time served on a case he's not on this case, since he's not serving time on this case.
I understand, but can we reduce it to time served instead of the 60 days?
Given the charges that he's in custody in, the state is not inclined to reduce that offer, Mr. Adams.
Okay. Mr. Weber, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I get you.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm cool with probation.
Okay. Yeah, you know, you'd be doing some time. You cool with that?
You said I would be doing some time?
Right.
I thought you said credit for time served.
Well, it's only 6 days.
He'll do 28 extra days at the jail.
Hold on, I'm showing CFTS and CTTS.
That's without probation or with probation?
That would be with probation.
Is there a way I can just do it with probation, just in general probation?
And Your Honor, just to communicate why the state is not inclined to give that offer, the defendant is currently in custody on aggravated assault and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree involving the same victim. So that is why the state is not inclined to give that offer.
Okay, understand, that's great.
Okay. So, Ms. Falk, I don't think that Mr. Woodward heard what the offer is. Can you hear, Mr. Woodward? This is what the state's recommendation will be. Say it again for me, Ms. Falk, please.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 12 months with served 60 days, credit for time served 2 days. That was from March 6th to March 7th. No further contact with Abriona Haywood and RW, the minor child, family violence intervention program, 40 hours of community service, and stay away from 1225 Fairburn Road, apartment Y4.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, that's what you want to do, Mr. Woodward?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. Falk?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor. We would like to, we did speak to Ms. Haywood. She is in agreement with the offer. She stated she would not be on Zoom, but we would like to sound for her out of an abundance of caution. And we would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
So stipulated?
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Adams?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, if Ms. Haywood is with me and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Mr. Woodward, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. It's my understanding, Mr. Woodward, that in case 23 CR 001307J, you wish to plead guilty to battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is that correct?
Sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury? Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you understand you're giving up that right?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Yes, sir. No, sir, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Woodward. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome.
I would need the plea paperwork, Mr. Adams or Ms. Falk. Can anybody assist Mr. Adams on that?
Do what now? Sorry.
I would need
Before your client will be released, we need to get the plea paperwork filled out from you, Mr. Adams.
Okay.
Miss Lewis, I'll send over some plea paperwork to Mr. Adams for his signature. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
All right. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay.
You also, Mr. Woodward.
Okay, Mr. Adams,
Okay.
make sure I get that paperwork, Mr. Adams.
Okay, I will.
Don't let me hunt you down.
Give that paperwork.
You got my email, right?
I sure
I
do.
do, sir.
Hey.
Okay, jail courts. Let's see, we still need, on the regular calendar, Kyrie Bolton, who's position number 1. And we still need, from the probation revocation, Logan Shanahan.
Yes, Your Honor, I was told that he was up here on Fort North, but I checked all the books and there's no, there's no records of him up there.
No records of a Logan Shanahan.
Officer
Yeah.
Gomez found Mr. Shanahan on 2 South yesterday.
Yes, but they
Okay,
said he got moved to, but they're not up here.
okay.
Okay, and what about Kyrie Bolton?
He is at Union City, Judge.
Oh, he's at Union City? Okay, thank you. All right.
And this is Mr. Monty Price here, in the South End. And he is prepared. We can move forward with him.
And what are we gonna do with Mr. Price?
Mr. Price would like to enter a not guilty plea this morning.
Okay, are you gonna file a waiver, Ms. Vigiletti?
Yes, I'm happy to do that, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Price, as such, your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Mr. McLean does represent Mr. Bolton, who is also at Union City, and I believe he's jumping on Zoom right now so they could have a brief conversation.
Yeah,
Okay,
it knocks me off Zoom every now and then because of this room, but I can do it by the window.
Okay.
Yeah.
and what was the final determination on Logan Shanahan?
They are working on locating him right now. There's been some movement in the jail the last 24 hours. Everybody's been moved between, something happened on 4 South, I'm not quite sure. But he's one of these folks that, Officer Norris seems to have just found him, so they're going to get him right now.
Okay, all right, very good, thank you.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
The officer here wants to know, about, Bolton, the, inmate Bolton, who, exactly who?
I'm logging on again because we get kicked out from Zoom in certain ways when we're in this room because of reception. But I'm going to go across to medical where they have a window and I will zoom in and break out with Bolton and speak with him.
Okay, so
She wants to
okay,
know
so-
specifically what Bolton you need so she can go get him for you.
Oh, it's a Kyrie Bolton, number 1 on our calendar, Kyrie Jawan Bolton.
You want to see him now?
Yes, please.
Okay, I can take him back and go get him.
All right, very good, thank you.
Y'all want to
Okay.
go?
That would be, I'm not sure if the prosecutors are they in the courtroom? I'm not the prosecutors, the public defenders, Miss Vigiletti, I'm sorry, it's been a long morning.
No problem. Should we go over the calendar?
Yes,
Okay.
if you're
Yeah.
ready to.
I'm happy to do that.
Okay,
Thank you.
wonderful. All right, on the add-on calendar, that was a plea. Mr. Wooder. We're gonna start on the original calendar. Position number 1, we're still holding. Position number 2 and 3 was a plea. Position number 4 was null pros. Position number 5 was a plea. Position number 6 was a plea. Position number 7, waive arraignment, cases reset for trial, further notice. Position number 8 was transferred to the DA. Position number 9 was a plea. Position number 10 was null pros. Position number 11 was a plea. Position number 12 was a plea. Position number 13, waive arraignment, not guilty, cases set for trial, further notice. Same announcement on 14. Position 15, the FTA bench warrant was set aside. Position number 16 is to reset further notice, and 17, defendant can release. Position number 18 was a plea. Position number 19 was null pros. Position number 20 was a plea. Position 21, the case was closed on previous year, last year. So, position number 20 was transferred to the DA's office. Position 23 is a null pros. Position 24 and 25 is reset to the SAP for next Tuesday, 4/23. Position 26 and 27 should be set to the competency counter for 5/2. Position 28 was a transfer to the DA's office. Position 29 was a plea. Position 30, 31, 32 is going to be reset to the SAP next Tuesday, 23. Position 33 was a transfer to the DA's office. Position 34, defendant waive arraignment, cases reset for trial, further notice. Position 35, receiving an FTA warrant set aside. And position 36, reset for trial, further notice, defendant waive arraignment. Position 37, same announcement, waiver arraignment, cases reset for trial, further notice. Positions 38, 39, and position 40 were all pleas. Position 41 was a plea.
Really, it was more.
Position 42 was a plea. Position 43 is all pros. Position 44 was a plea. Position 45 was a plea. Position 46 was a plea. And position 47 is going to be reset to next Tuesday, SAP for 4/23. Probation counter, position number 1, probation was revoked. Position number 2, receive a dismissal for the warrant. Position number 3, the case is closed. Position number 4 should receive a dismissal for the warrant. Position number 5 is reinstated. Number 6 is still receive a dismissal for the warrant. We're still holding on position 7. And position number 8, defendant was reinstated on the probation. And number 9, we should receive a dismissal for the warrant. So that should take care of the counter, and the DV case, the bench warrant was set aside, case reset further notice. That should be it.
Ms. Lewis, do you need anything from me? The probation calendar, position 3 and 4. This case was closed, but his other case was.
Oh, yeah, I made a note on there. Defendant will continue on his probation case for the open case 21 CR 00996F. That one was not on the calendar.
Right.
So so I made note of that.
Thank you.
Ms. Lewis, do you have a null pros on position 19 for me, Miss Melinda Gaskins? Or do I still owe you that?
You still owe that.
Okay, I thought so. Let me make sure to get that prepared for you and send that over after I finish Mr. Adams' plea paperwork.
Okay. And is this Mr. Shanahan?
Sorry, sir.
Yes, this is Mr. Shanahan.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
We're prepared to proceed.
Okay, Officer Allen, are you with me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Good morning, Mr. Shanahan, or good afternoon at this point. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the probation revocation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Is it okay that it's on the screen?
Oh, sorry, yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, Officer Allen.
The defendant was sentenced to probation for the charge of simple battery. They were required to report to probation, pay probation supervision fees, stay away from the incident location, complete anger management classes, and no contact with the victim. As of today, the defendant has failed to provide documentation of the anger management classes. It's 105 days remaining on his case. At this time, probation recommends for this defendant to be allowed to continue on probation and enroll in anger management within 1 week.
Vigilante?
Yes, Judge, I spoke with Mr. Shanahan yesterday. I will say he was picked up from Fulton right to DeKalb and then from DeKalb right to Douglas County. So he ended up being incarcerated until sometime in November. And has just had a little bit of a rough go of it since he's gotten out of custody. Oh, and also in custody with Caldwell PDC. So he is aware of this probation and that it needs to get done. I think he'd be very grateful for the opportunity to complete the anger management. I would just like, if you don't mind, Mrs. Allen, to clarify, Mr. Shanahan was under the impression that he could report to probation one time as long as he completed the anger management. But when I look, to me, it looks like he should report until he completes anger management. So if we could clarify that in court today, just so that there's no further mistakes in completing this probation.
Okay, I'm checking now. So the defendant must complete the 8 weeks of anger management as well as pay his probation supervision fees. Once he complete his probation, his anger management and pay his fees, his case go non-reporting. That means he'll be still on probation until his end date. He does not have to report or pay our office anymore.
Okay, and that was my understanding as well. So thank you for that.
All right, I'll accept the recommendation of probation. Good luck to you, Mr. Shanahan.
Yes, sir, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Let's see, is this Mr. Bolton?
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. McLean, you need to speak with Mr. Bolton?
Yes.
You're on mute, Mr. McLean.
I'm by a window. We should have good reception. If we can be placed in a breakout room, that would be super.
Okay, if we can place South Annex and Mr. McLean into a breakout room. Officer Allen, do you have any further business this morning?
No, Your Honor, that concludes my business.
Okay, have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
All right, you too. Thank you.
So court will be in recess until Mr. McLean and South Annex return. Ms. Grace. Ms. Grace, are you with me? Lewis?
Are we still holding for Mr. McLean?
Yes, we are. Could someone please go into the breakout room and ask him when he's going to be back with us?
Okay.
Thank you. So
Your
where
Honor,
we, yes.
We're back from the breakout. Your Honor, we should reset this case 1 week or whenever the court thinks would be wise. This case is not holding him in jail, but it is an important case for him to consider.
All right. I think that was I the one who issued the initial bond on him? I think that I have seen Mr. Bolton before. Do you know, Ms. Falk, do you know whether or not I was the one who issued the bond?
I can check, Your Honor. It shouldn't take me that long. Hold on.
I just want to place him back on one of my calendars, if that's the case.
Understood, Your Honor. That's interesting. So I'm seeing the accusation entered, and it looks like it was reset jail jury by Judge Law on December 19th, but I'm not showing who entered the bond.
No, this was a bind over from Superior Court. Remember, it was transferred from the
Okay, so
Superior.
this was transferred down. So Your
Yeah.
Honor, you did not issue the bond, but it was originally set on both your April 2nd and April 16th state all-purpose calendars.
Calendar, let's put, well, the next one will be on the 30th, April 30th.
Okay.
Okay. Does that work for you, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Bolton, we'll see you back on April 30th. And you also, Ms. Bolton, if you choose to be with us at that time. Thank you for being here today. Okay, I believe that completes the 9 and 11 o'clock calendars. Unless there's anything else, you'll have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh.